group of institutions, integrated campus. The institution is approved by AICT New Delhi and affiliated to JNTU Hyderabad. This is Dr. G. Subbarao, professor working in Department of Civil Engineering. In today's online session, I am going to explain about water table, zone of aeration and zone of saturation. This is the topic, and let us go to the topic: water table and zone of aeration, zone of saturation. What is groundwater? Groundwater is the water source that comes from the aquifers below the earth's surface. So whatever the aquifer is identified, so from which the groundwater is tapped. This is the source for water. Based on saturation point, distribution of subsurface water, that is groundwater. So it occurs, groundwater occurs in zone of aeration and zone of saturation. So based on degree of saturation and the distribution of subsurface water, so groundwater occurs in zone of aeration and zone of saturation. So how the water is distributed in subsurface water? This is zone of saturation and this is zone of aeration, and the upper part of the zone of saturation is called as water table. The entire region below the water table, so this is the water table. So below the region, entire region is zone of saturation or saturated zone, and water in this saturated zone is called as groundwater. So groundwater occurs in unsaturated, saturated zone. So this entire zone is called as saturated zone, and here water is tapped from this portion. Above the zone of saturation and below the ground surface, whatever the area or region is shown, this is called zone of aeration, in which water occupies only a small portion of the pore spaces. So this is called unsaturated zone, and also it is known as zone of aeration, in which water fills only a portion of the pore spaces. So above the water table lies zone of aeration, that is unsaturated zone, and below the water table lies zone of saturation, that means the pores of the soil are filled mostly with water. The water table is the boundary between zone of aeration and zone of saturation, which fluctuates seasonally as rate of recharge and discharges vary. So always the water table fluctuate. This is because of recharge and discharge conditions. So let us see once again. This is zone of saturation. This is zone of aeration. The boundary between zone of aeration and zone of saturation is called as water table. This is how groundwater is distributed in the subsurface, that is especially in the zone of saturation. What is water table? So a water table is the surface or boundary that divides zone of aeration as well as zone of saturation. The water table moves up and down due to variations in weather conditions, temperature conditions, and precipitation conditions. So always the water table moves up and down due to all these reasons. Since the topography, this is the topography of the land, is variable. Here it is elevated up to here. Here it is elevated up to this portion. Here the elevation is so small. So since the topography of the earth's surface is variable, the water table sometimes produces streams, lakes, etc. in the valleys. See, this is the picture. This is the water table and the topography is varying. So this water table is fluctuating and the water table is cutting the topography here and here. Hence there is a formation of a lake or stream in the valley. And groundwater occurs in zone of aeration in different ways. So this is Vadose water, this is soil water, spurged water, capillary water, and in zone of saturation totally groundwater is available. And the bottom is, this is bedrock or a hard formation. So above the hard formation there is a zone of saturation. Above the zone of saturation there is a region called as zone of aeration, and the water table is a surface which is dividing the zone of aeration, zone of saturation. Now let us see the different types of groundwater occurring in zone of aeration as well as in zone of saturation. First, we discuss about types of groundwater occurring in zone of aeration. Soil water. This water occurs in the soil and is available to the roots of the plants existing on the surface. So this is the soil water. This is the surface of the earth. So just below the surface of the earth, whatever soil is occupied in which water occurs, that water is available to the roots of plants. Coming to Vadose water. Water percolates vertically downwards from the surface until it reaches the water table. So this water from the surface reaches downward and vertically downward until it reaches water table is called as Vadose water in the unsaturated zone. Capillary water. So the attractive force of the soil in the unsaturated zone close to the water table causes the upward movement of water. The pores in the soil act as minute capillary tubes through which moisture, in the form of water, rises above the water table and fills the pore spaces due to capillary force. So due to the capillary force, the water moves upward and forms as a capillary water. So this moisture held in the soil is called the capillary water, and the phenomenon is known as capillary action. Perched water. A perched water is an accumulation of groundwater that is above the water table. So this is the water table. So above the water table, a small quantity of water is accumulated in the zone of aeration, that is unsaturated zone. So this groundwater is usually tapped above the impermeable soil such as clay. So wherever the clay is noticed in the unsaturated zone, above which a little quantity of groundwater is accumulated, that is called as perched water, and this is the perched water table. It is usually insufficient to supply domestic groundwater needs and often dries out if a borewell is drilled here. Other sources of groundwater. Meteoric water. Meteoric water is the water derived from precipitation. So whatever the water is derived from the precipitation, that is called as meteoric water. It is a type of groundwater. Especially melting of snow or rain water. A fall forms, whether it is from snow or rain. Especially the snow falling high in the mountain regions contain least amount of mineral content. As a result, many mountain streams deriving their water from high fallen snow have extremely low dissolved mineral content. Connate water. Sometimes a sediment or rock formations may retain some quantity of water from the beginning of their formation. These are the sediments. So the water is formed between the gaps or among the gaps of the sediments. These liquids are composed of water but also contains some mineral components as ions in solution. Juvenile water, and it is also known as magmatic water. The underground water that originates from molten magma is called juvenile water. So it is the water found in the cracks or openings or pores of the rocks due to condensation of steam emanating from molten magma existing below the surface of the earth. Because of this, sometimes hot springs and geysers are clearly derived from juvenile water. Hot spring, this is also hot spring. It comes from juvenile water or magmatic water. Thank you.